motorcycle preparation for my next trip and dash spare parts. I'm gonna talk mostly about the spare parts. In this live stream I will share the spare parts I plan to take with me on my next trip around Central Asia. All video and audio good, excellent. The same crappy weather started raining about 2 hours ago, but the whole day was excellent. 12 degrees, something like that. I was all day out with my wife walking around the town and made a really good walk around for a couple of hours. I haven't done it for a long time. And I promised to do it, so no motorcycle riding for me today. Eventually, at the end of the month. You managed cold ride yesterday. Yesterday, by the way, here was excellent, was even sunny, but I was busy here in the house. But I'm glad that you managed to ride, at least. No, until the end of the month, probably until 10th of March, I'll be very busy to complete this online course that I started. They're all together. Svani, good evening. How are you, man? How are you doing? I perfectly understand you, Richard. I perfectly understand you. As I said, I need to complete this online course that I started. There will be altogether 25 different videos, 10-15 minutes each, plus a lot of other stuff that I needed for the course. And so far I have done 7 videos, which means that I still need another 18 videos. This is a lot of work, and I committed to do it, and I will do it, no worries. But does mean no much time for riding, but that's fine. I'm gonna ride later. Svani, all good. I can see you and can hear you perfectly. Excellent. We have interesting topic to discuss today. At least it is interesting to me. Maybe for someone else will be as well. Yeah, very busy time ahead, Richard. After that, after I complete with the course, I will make another one plan that I have for my website. And I'll be busy probably more extensively until the end of March. And then the weather will improve, and I'll start working more with the visas and all problems that I have to solve with my upcoming trip. I will also use this time to prepare the motorcycle better, because you know it's always important. And spare parts are part of the preparation as well. All right, let's wait a minute or two, maybe someone else will come, and then we'll start with the topic motorcycle preparation for my next trip, spare parts. I'm gonna tell you what I plan to take with me. I need to improve my English, man. Prepare, it's not prepare, it's prepare. It's not preparation, it's preparation. But this English is not easy job. Your favorite drink is ready, excellent. This English is not an easy job. It looks easy at the beginning because you understand many words and everything, but to start talking properly, man, it's hard. I cannot twist my tongue with the voices that I have to pronounce, because our Bulgarian language is very hard, very hard to pronounce. And English language is exactly the opposite. It's very soft. So I have to twist my tongue like this to pronounce some voices, but I just cannot. No matter how hard I'm trying, it's difficult to me, because in Bulgaria we don't use this R. We use R for R. We don't have R. We have R. Bulgaria, not Bulgaria, Bulgaria, and many more sounds that you have. We don't have it, and it's very difficult for you. Yeah, Richard, I'm doing well. I believe that my English is still better than your Bulgarian. I believe so in this. But yeah, you know what I mean, because you speak a few languages, you know what I mean. Your mouth cannot make a shape to a Portuguese, German, or French, but it's yeah, I understand. I'm sure that you know exactly what I mean. But we do what we got to do, you know. Anyway, I think that I'm improving, but I'm improving very slowly, because I never been to a proper English school. I never made a proper English classes to learn the right pronouncement. Everything that I learn, it's actually by talking with people, watching videos on YouTube and all of this stuff to hear how they pronounce a specific words. But the problem is that when you learn something wrong, I know it's a very good way, but when you learn something wrong and there is no one to correct you, you believe that this is the right way, and this is how I keep talking for years and years because no one ever correct me. It took me many years to learn what is the right pronouncement, and to be honest, until a week ago, I was still preparing and preparation. This was my way of pronouncement. But my son was here last week. He's living now in Scotland for already 5 years, but his English is very good. And when he heard me how I pronounce it, oh man, no, it's prepare, it's not prepare. You need someone to correct you right in the moment when you say it. But with this YouTube game, I just talk one way. You receive it, you understand me because you watch myself from many years. You understand what I mean, but there is no one to correct me. Many years ago, I worked with properties here in Varna, Bulgaria, and I had an English partner. I probably explained you, I already told you this story, but anyway. And when we started working with this guy, his name was John Walton, fantastic guy. And I said, John, listen, my English is not good. And my English back then was even worse. But anyway, I said to John, listen, please, every time when I make a mistake with a word or pronouncement or whatever I put the word, maybe it's not correct, please correct me every time. I want to learn from you. And he said, no, it's not necessary, I understand you. I said, no, I know that you understand me, but you're like my editor. You have to correct me because I learned wrong. And he said, okay, all right, we'll do it. And maybe you can teach me Bulgarian. I said, yeah, all right, I'll teach you Bulgarian. And we start working. I was teaching him Bulgarian, he was teaching me English. But after 1 week, he said, do you know what? Forget about my Bulgarian, let's improve your English. And he actually improved a little bit my English, but he never corrected me for the things that I'm talking about. Yeah, back in the days, there were a lot, not many now. There are still a lot of English here, but back in the days, I'm talking about between 1998 and 2005, it was a boom of English people in Bulgaria. They were crazy to come here and buy properties because back in the days, properties were very cheap. They're not cheap anymore. But he never really corrected me. And I a few times asked him, why, John, why you don't stop me when I make, and he said, because I have to stop you every few minutes. It's just, I feel not so comfortable to do it every time. And this is how I continue learning wrong and wrong. But anyway, it is what it is, as you know, guys. All right, enough rambling. Let's finally start with the stream. The topic is going to be motorcycle preparation for my next trip, spare parts. In this stream, I'm going to talk mostly about the spare parts. On the Rebel 11, good evening. How are you, man? How are you doing? Until this moment, we just talk for different things here with Richard and Svani. I will start right now. Motorcycle preparation for my next trip and dash spare parts. We're going to talk mostly about the spare parts. In this live stream, I will share the spare parts I plan to take with me on my next trip around Central Asia. Because proper preparation makes the trips much easier and minimize the risks. I highly and strongly believe in this. If you make a proper preparation, this will eliminate probably 90% of possible risks that you can have on the trips. Spare parts, along with anything else, are responsible for successful outcome of the journey, especially when you travel in more exotic destinations where you might not have access to everything that you need, like Central Asia now at the moment. For that purpose, I will have several items with me. They will be necessary because, as I said, I might not be able to find them once I start travel. Of course, in big cities like Istanbul, maybe in Bishkek, in Tashkent, in a few more big towns, you can find what you need. Not everything, but at least some parts. But in most of the small towns and villages, you cannot find even a proper motorcycle oil to change your oil, if you understand what I mean. Because the motorcycles that they ride there are completely different. Usually very small cc, Japanese or mostly Chinese motorcycles, or some Indian markets motorcycles. Then they usually run these motorcycles with the normal car oils and change the oils every 1,000 kilometers because they don't have they don't cover many miles over there. So you cannot even find a proper motorcycle oil with all specifications like MA2 or stuff like that to use it for your motorcycle. That's why you can have these options only in the big cities. Luckily, with our motorcycles, we don't need to change the oils before 5, maybe 8,000 kilometers. 5 is too early, maybe 8,000 kilometers. And this means that we'll be somewhere around Kyrgyzstan when we need to change the oils. And it will be probably in Bishkek or maybe even in Kazakhstan, in Almaty. So we're gonna have a possibility to buy oils and stuff like that. But I still need to take many parts with me because even in these big cities, I'm not sure that I'll be able to find what I need, what I'm gonna show you right now. Because even in Varna, if I want to order these parts, it will take at least a week, maybe 10 days to receive it. So I highly doubt that they will have it in Central Asia. The first and the most important part that I'm gonna take with me, it will be a spare clutch plates. Only ferrado plates, not the metal plates. I will definitely take a spare with me because you never know. Even though I plan to change my clutch plates before the trip, because now at the moment I have almost 90,000 kilometers on my Tenere, and I still have the stock clutch, which means that it will last probably another 10, 15, maybe 20,000 kilometers, who knows. But I don't want to worry about it on the road. So I don't want to change it on the road when it's finished. Even though I understand that if I continue with my clutch plates now, this will give me maybe another, as I said, 10, 15 or 20,000 kilometers. But what I will do, I will change the clutch plates now before the trip in Plamen's garage. We'll do it properly as we should. And we'll take the old clutch plates with me as a spare. So I do believe that I'm not gonna have any problems with the clutch during the trip, with the new clutch. But just in case I have a difficult situation, let's say a lot of mud, a lot of sand, or for some reason I burn my clutch, I will still have the old clutch as a spare to continue traveling and then to fix it when I get back home. And because we're gonna ride the same motorcycles, Plamen is with the same Tenere 700, we need only one spare with us because the chances both of us to burn the clutches are very low. So we're gonna have just one set of spare clutch plates, and they will be the plates that I already have on my motorcycle for 90,000 kilometers. They won't be even new, but because we start with fresh, I hope that you got the idea. Anyway, I will also need a clutch gasket. So that means that I have to order 2 gaskets right now. One to change the existing one that I have, and if I am able to open the cover of the clutch and remove the old gasket without cut it or damage it, I will take it as a spare. But if not, I have to order another one gasket for me in the case I need to fix the clutch on the road. So gasket is very important. You can use silicone, but the gasket is much better option because the silicone it's a little bit risky. So beside the clutch plates, I'm gonna need a spare gasket as well. And these are things that you cannot find online. And because this gasket is very big, it's like this size, because the cover of the clutch is not only the clutch, it's the cover of the whole engine, the right side on the engine. It's a big gasket like this. What I usually do, I remove it from the paper board that they usually fix it when you buy it, and twist it very gently without cutting it, twisting it like this, and put it in a small box like this. This is what I've done once. Or another option is to keep it in this paper board that they keep it, and have it on the next to my back protector if it goes there. If it's not so wide, if I can fix it, stick it with glue or with duct tape to my back protector, is the perfect place to stay because you never bend it, you never cut it, and it's safe place to transport it. If not, as I told you, I will remove it from the paper board. We'll twist it gently like this without cutting it and have it in small plastic or metal box to protect it for the whole trip. And when I need it, I will remove it again gently and use it on the motorcycle. This is I have done a number of times before, and I know it is possible. Okay, beside of the clutch plates and the clutch gasket, I will have a spare clutch cable. But as you know, or maybe you don't, but I already have it reroute on my motorcycle with the zip ties and ready to be changed anytime. So in terms of clutch, everything that I need will be covered with the spare parts that I just explained. The next one will be spark plugs. With the spark plugs, I will do more or less the same procedure. I'm gonna change them right now because the spark plugs that I have now at the moment on my motorcycle are on about 25,000 kilometers. I know that they will last the journey without any problems, but I still prefer to start with the fresh spark plugs. And the ones that I have now on my motorcycle will go in my luggage as a spare, because I know that they still work and they might fix problems if I have with the spark plugs on the road. Then after the spark plugs, I'm gonna buy a voltage regulator. Even though mine is working well, everything is good, the recharging system is working without any problems, but I have to order at least one voltage regulator with us. Because as I said, we have exactly the same motorcycles, we need only one, and it's bloody expensive, by the way. This voltage regulator for this Tenere 700 costs like almost like 300 euros. I have no idea why it's so expensive, but it is what it is, around 300 euros just for one voltage regulator. That is very simple electronic device. I really don't know why it's so expensive, but we should have one definitely, because if it's failed, you stop on the road. So we definitely need at least one. Of course, I'm gonna have a brake pads, front and rear. Interestingly enough, my front brake pads are still the stock front brake pads, and they're on 50% of their life. So I have almost 90,000 kilometers with 50% of the life of the original brake pads, front brake pads. But even though I will have another spare with me, just in case some of this failed or gets wrong, but what I will do, I will put the new brake pads before I go, and the existing that I have now with 50% life, I will take with me as a spare. Because I don't want to change brake pads on the road if it's not necessary. It's not a big deal, it's a very easy job, but if I can prevent it, why not? Of course, I'm gonna have at least 3 sets of rear brake pads, because in my riding style, they finish for about 8, maximum 9,000 kilometers, I finish rear pads. Also, when you go to very dusty environment, a lot of sand and mud, they finish even quicker. Depends on that how you use it, but they finish even quicker because of the abrasive material that goes between. So they also might fail. On my trip to Magadan, for example, one of the brake pads of the rear was defect, and it's just cut on some stage. I had it for, let's say, about 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers, and suddenly when I pressed the rear brake, I realized that I have no brakes. I heard the voice from metal to metal squeezing, and I said, what the fuck? They're supposed to last around 8,000-9,000 kilometers, and they finish on 2. And when I tried to change them, I changed it actually, but when I removed them to change them, I realized that one of them was just the Ferrado part was cut away for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, it was muddy and very dusty, but maybe it was defect or something, so I need to replace it. That's why I will need at least 3 sets with me and one of the motorcycle, 4 altogether, and they should last this trip 20,000 kilometers. If not, we'll go only with the front, but it's not so convenient. So brake pads, I said, as I told you everything about it. Then I will have a set of wheel bearings. I'm not sure about, I think that they are the same size front and rear, because I never changed them so far, 90,000 kilometers. But if they are different, I will have a set of wheel bearings from the front for the front wheel, and set of wheel bearings for the rear wheel. The bearing which is on the rear sprocket, I will change it right now, and I will take one with me. I will take the old one that I changed, I will take it as a spare, because it's in good condition now. But this bearing that is on the rear sprocket wheel bearing, rear sprocket carriage wheel bearing, or whatever the right name is, usually fails first, and it's a little bit different size. You cannot find it so easy. It's not like a standard sizes that you can find everywhere. That's why I will change it now before the trip, and the one that I had at the moment will come with me as a spare. I hope that you understand what I mean. In this way, I try to minimize the costs that I will have on the trip. If I buy everything new, at the end, it's all accumulates and the price will go too high. But in this situation, it will save me probably a big chunk of money. On the Rebel 11, why not change all the bearings before the trip and take the used one as a spare? Changing the bearings is a pain in the ass. I might do this as well, depends on the condition of the bearing, and probably this is the best way to do it. This is what I usually do, and this is what I will probably do right now, because you're right, it's a pain in the ass. It's not a big deal, but it's a pain in the ass, and also if the bearing fell in not so right moment, for example on turn or something, you might even crash. This is probably what I will do. I will change them before the trip and will keep the rest as a spare. I don't know why I did not mention this before. This is what I plan to do actually, because this is the safest way to do it. And I will keep the one that I have at the moment as a spares, because yeah, they lasted 90,000 kilometers, but I don't think that they can last forever. I have some suspicions about the rear. It's still moving fine when you twist it like that, but when you load the motorcycle in different conditions, it might fail. All right, we covered the wheel bearings. The steering column bearing, they are fine. I will just open it and re-grease them before the trip, because even if they have a problem, they cannot stop you from traveling. Maybe the steering will be a little bit more harder to move, but they cannot stop me from traveling. I will open it now, just will lift the forks a little bit to see what is the situation, and if they are in normal condition, I will re-grease them and put them back. If they are worn out or they are rusty, of course I'm gonna change them before the trip. All right, covered all the bearings. Next is the oil filter. I'm gonna take at least one oil filter with me. It is very small. The stock filter of the Tenere is very small, and I'm gonna take one with me just in case I cannot find on the place where I plan to change the oil. It will be probably Kyrgyzstan or Kazakhstan. So if I find oil filter there, this will stay as a spare for the future changes, so this is not a big problem. I'll have one with me. Of course, I'm gonna have spare tubes, 121 and 118 inch for the back. Definitely 2 tubes with me. I will buy brand new tubes, normal tubes, not 4 millimeters heavy duty, just normal tubes in the case I need it on the road. I hope I will never need it, but I will have it with me. I'll have a few fuses, because you know, fuses are important. The electrical system needs to work properly. All sizes that I need include the main fuse, which is like 30 amperes or something like that. I will have them all. I will have a chain link, maybe 2 different chain links, normal chain links with a fast connection, even though I will start from my home place with new sprockets and new chain, riveted chain, not with links. I will still have links, because sometimes you might have a problem with a different segment of the chain, and if you have a spare chain link, you can change it on the road. You can fix this problem. They weigh nothing, they cost nothing, so I will have 1 or 2 with me. I always have it anyway. Then I'm gonna have like a 2 meters of cable in the case I need to correct some electrical wiring problems. If I have some wiring problems, just in the case I need it for something. And that basically it is it. No more than that. These are the spare parts that I plan to take with me. Nothing else. I don't think that I will take a spare. I will probably, but it's not necessary to take a spare clutch and brake levers, because first of all, I have very solid handguards on me, but also my clutch and brake levers are cut on both sides, so it's basically impossible for me to hit the ground with these levers, so I cannot even break it. But I might take at least the clutch lever, spare clutch lever, at least, maybe we'll have at least one with us, a clutch lever, because the brake you cannot damage it that badly. Even if you have just that size left, you can still use it and stop it. With the clutch, it's a little bit more complicated. Yes, my Tenere is throttled by, no, it's a normal cable. My Tenere is with a normal cable. I'm not going to take a spare cable because this is something that fails in very, very rare condition. And even if it's failed, you can manage it to go with only one. There are two cables actually going there. So you can manage to do it only with one. And my friend's Tenere is 2025. It's ride by wire. And that is everything that I plan to take. Now, if you want to add something, or if you want to ask me anything about on this topic, or if you want to add an additional information, please do it so. As you know, I record this stream and it will be free for everyone, and some people might benefit from this information. Fuel filter or separate in line filter for funnel, then filling up, avoid the dirty fuels. I'm not going to have any fuel filters. I'm not going to have, I never worry about it this last time when I was there. No, I'm not going to take anything with me. Never worry really about it. I can take a piece of clothing or from cotton or something like that, small piece, to put it on the top of the petrol tank when I go and collect. There, you know, there is a material. It's a cotton, but it's in very rare, I don't know what is the name of this on English, of this material, that could be used as a filter in these places. And it's an easy job. I can keep it in my pocket, just put it on the top of the petrol tank when I'm having petrol in suspicious places, which is usual in Central Asia, by the way. Gauss. Let me see it. Never heard it. Let me copy to see this is what I mean. Use Google Translate to see what it will take. Yeah, perfectly. Gauss.
Gauze.
Gauze. Okay, gauze. Google Translate is very useful. Gauze. Okay. A piece of gauze I will have in my pocket in the case I need to filter petrol that I suspect that it might be not in good condition. But as I said, in Central Asia, at least the last time when I was there, I had to fill petrol in a suspicious, not even petrol station. It was just like a big tank, and a guy with a jar just pouring petrol, whatever liters you have. So in the situations like this, I can put this gauze on the top and use it, filter it. Small coolant for top up if leak, if the tape cell is holder coolant house. Small coolant top up if leak or the tape cell is holder the coolant house. If you mean this a glue that is with two different components that you can glue like the engine or plastic elements. Do you mean this, Richard? Or I'll definitely have this. It's metalloplastic is the name, but I don't know what is the English. The English term. We're gonna have this, but it's not like a spare parts. It's more. I'll more classify it like go with the tools. But yes, you're right. I will have one of this in the case I need to fix a hole in the engine, for example, or in the plastic parts. Okay, good to know. I will have something like this. I don't plan to take any spare hoses with me because the Tenere hoses are really well designed, in my opinion, and also my bash plate goes higher and it protects them from physical damage. But of course, everything is possible. Of course, the best is that I travel with my personal mechanic, so we're gonna find a solution for possible problems. Metal glue, exactly what they call them, metal glue. Yeah, two different components, and when you mix them together, they became harder, like a plastic, and then it's safe to use it. On the Rebel 11, will you be able to find spare parts for T7 in the countries you're traveling to, or you depend on Bulgarian creativity? This is what I start at the beginning on the Rebel 11, that no, we won't be able to find the spare parts that we need on the countries that we travel. Maybe in big towns like Istanbul, Bishkek, Tashkent, maybe even in Georgia in some places, but it's not guaranteed, and even if we find it, we might be forced to wait a lot to receive it because these motorcycles are not popular there. That's why the spare parts that I listed here are definitely what we will have with us to avoid exactly this problem. Because when you need a specific part, it doesn't matter how creative you are, you can't do much. Richard, is it a LED lights? Mine is how white. Previously I will take bulbs. No, it's a LED lights, but they are not really changeable. I don't think that you can even change the bulbs of the Tenere 700 because they are like a solid component, and I believe that you have to buy the whole front headlight. You can't change just the bulbs. At least I haven't seen any possible way to do it, and my mechanic as well. It looks like you have to buy the whole component at the same time. I don't think that they will fail, and even so they are 4 altogether, and I don't believe that 4 altogether will fail at the same time. If they stop working, it's not going to be the problem. The bulbs, it will be some wirings or probably fuse or something like that. But I just cannot believe that the 4 bulbs will stop at the same time. 2 for headlights and 2 for high beam. If only the headlights stop, I can always ride on high beam. If the high beam stop, I can always ride on the headlights. So I don't think that I will have problems there. The same applies to indicators. They are LED lights. I don't think that they will ever fail, and they are brand new that I have it now on the motorcycle. The same also for the stop light. Stop light, it's LED. Or maybe not, I haven't opened it to see what is inside. But these are not the things that will stop you from traveling. So you can always improvise, move to the next place and try to fix the problem. You can even install a simple bulb if necessary to have a light at least. So I never worry about these things because they cannot stop me from traveling. If you understand what I mean. Side stand switch, or will you bypass it? This was playing up. I'm not gonna bypass it now, let it stay, but I know how to bypass it if it fell down. And I don't see any reason to bypass it now because it's a useful gadget. Sometimes you just forgot your side stand, and it's good that the motorcycle will inform you that you have a side stand because you might have an accident if you leave it open. But I know how to bypass it in the case I need it. I have done it 2-3 times in my life. I know what I have to do, so this is not a problem for me. I'm not gonna buy a spare side stand switch with me if this is the question that you have. Of course, you cannot predict everything that is possible to happen, but at least we can try. We can try, and based on my previous experiences, I know what might fail and what I expect to fail eventually. I hope it will last without any problems, but 90,000 kilometers are still 90,000 kilometers. It's not a brand new motorcycle. So that's why it's good to to have this in mind when you travel, and just to be prepared. Not prepared, prepared. I'm keep trying. Prepared. Okay, good to know. But as I said, my English is still better than your Bulgarian, guys. So I will also make a few videos about the tools that I plan to take with me. I will probably do another short video for Patreons and channel members about the tools and the riding gear that I plan to take with me. But this is all, it's coming. Next week the topic will be, probably I will talk about my riding gear, what kind of riding gear I will take with me. Your question it out. Excellent. It's a good point. So next week, the stream, I will talk about what riding gear I plan to take on this trip, why I plan to take this gear instead of another, and I will go more in depth about these things. So if you're free next Sunday, I don't know what is the date now. Let me check what will be the date. Next Sunday is going to be the 22nd of February. We can meet again at 8 o'clock and we'll discuss it with in more details about this topic. For now, thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for supporting the channel for such a long time, especially people like Richard on the Rebel, Svani, and many more. And I wish you all the best. Keep smiling, keep riding, and see you next week. Ciao.